Last time on AF, Vegeta infused Spoitz was put down by Super Saiyan 5 Goku. Shortly after, it was revealed that Goku is only utilizing about 10% of his new form's potential. As they return to Earth, a new threat approaches them in the embodiment of not Broly, but the real legendary Super Saiyan. A few months after the battle with Spoitz, Goku and Vegeta are spending their days as usual. Back to the regular training. Following that short skirmish, it's just as Vegeta thought. He expresses how frustrating it is that they can't go all out here anymore. With a giggle, Goku knew he'd say that. That's why he asked the Supreme Kai for a favor. But a favor? What kind of favor? He asked him to create a special place for training that won't get destroyed, even if they use all of their power. Which is pretty cool to finally actually utilize what is literally the opposite of Beerus' purpose. Though the prince wonders if that's even possible. His rival doesn't know how difficult it is for him, but he doesn't think it's impossible. How about they go there right now? In the sacred world of the Kais, the old Kaioshin greets Goku, and he has some good timing. The thing he asked for is ready. Who wouldn't expect anything less from the old-timer? He thanks him for doing it so fast. Inside of the sphere is a special world completely cut off from the mortal realm. No matter how wildly they fight in there, they won't have to worry about it getting destroyed. They can go all out and do whatever they want. Vegeta gets it now. It's like the room of spirit and time. They can train without holding back in that world. Since it's ready, they better get moving. While Goku and Vegeta were absorbed in their training in a different dimension, a new threat was approaching the Earth. One shadowy figure wonders to another if the new Saiyans are on this planet. The other can't wait to see what kind they are. Revealing a trio of Saiyans, whatever they're up to, one chirps that he wants to have some fun. From left to right, these warriors are called Grippy, Boca, and Nas. Landing their modest ship, the same man from before wants to find the new Saiyans right away. Grippy points out that this is a rather big planet. Does Nas have any idea how to find them? Which is easy enough. They just need to follow the big energies. They'll eventually run into them. He actually points one out to lock onto. But either way, they still have a bit of time to kill. Until the legendary Super Saiyan is born. So they don't need to rush to find these new Saiyans too quickly. In West City, Goten brushes the sweat off his forehead, relieved that he's finally halfway done handing out these flyers. It's such tiring work, but with his adorable wife and kid waiting for him back home, Mr. Daddy has got to work hard for him. As the Saiyans land behind him, albeit a little startled, Goten greets them and questions if they'd like some capsule recommendations. However, being met with only a focused stare, he asks if there's something he can help them with. Grippy comments that they heard that there were Saiyans on this planet. Does he know anything about them? But Saiyans? That's when he realizes these guys have tails. This must mean that they're Saiyans like him. Causing Naz's eyes to light up. So he does know about the Saiyans. And that's right, they three are indeed also Saiyans. A little surreal to the young man. He thought the only ones left were his dad and Vegeta. Nas takes notice of this. Dad, so his father's a Saiyan. Which is right, but what do they want from them? Don't tell them that they're another group that just came here to blow up the Earth. Causing the stranger to let out a brief chuckle. He doesn't need to worry about such things. They have no interest in that at all. Their intentions are quite simple. They just want to fight someone really strong. Any fellow Saiyan would surely understand this feeling. They were told of a few surviving Saiyans on Earth. This is why they traveled all the way here. If his father is a Saiyan, that must mean he is a Saiyan too. That explains why his energy is much higher compared to the natives of this world. Still quite nervous, Goten just has to check again. Are they really sure they haven't come here to destroy the planet? They've kinda had trouble with that in the past. Who assures again that they're only here to fight someone strong. They have no further desires. Sensing the group out, they don't seem evil. And let's say that they are. Their ki isn't exactly strong. They legit might have just come here to satisfy their Saiyan instincts. Okay then, they don't seem bad, so he'll introduce him to his dad. Which is wonderful news to the visitors. They're really happy to hear this. Walking back to Capsule Corp, Trunks is curious what Goten's doing back so soon. Isn't he still in the middle of a shift? Which, no, yeah, but no. Look, these guys are Saiyans. And what? Really? What are Saiyans doing on the Earth? The son of Goku explains that apparently, they all want to take a crack at both their dads. They're not here to destroy the world though, he made sure to check on that. Nas lets out a wide smile, ecstatic to see just how strong they really are. Goten reveals that, unfortunately, they're out on a training session right now, so do they mind waiting here for a while? Although not great news, it is what it is and it won't be a problem for their guests. It might be a while, so Goten asks if they can tell him a little about themselves. How are they still alive? They were told that all the Saiyans went extinct. A guy named Frieza or something blew up their home planet. A history that Nas has heard. Alas, this history does not belong to the three of them. Those Saiyans are different from them. But different Saiyans? Like a cousin species. Which, more or less, they refer to Goten and Trunks' kind as the new Saiyans. Therefore, they themselves are the old Saiyans. Old Saiyans. Long ago, a great conflict arose between these two peoples. They had very contrasting philosophies in life. The old merely craved fighting and battle, nothing more. The new Saiyans sought to build relations between species and civilizations. After years of disagreement, most of the old Saiyans decided to claim their independence, leaving behind their home planet to begin society on a new one. They three are the descendants of these old Saiyans. Their kind has been fighting the strong one after another just to get stronger. They rarely interact with a civilization for any other reason. However, much like the new Saiyans, they too were nearly driven to extinction after so many close battles. It was then they were reminded of the legend. Something that rings a bell to Goten. The legend? This wouldn't happen to be about the Super Saiyan, would it? And yes, this must mean that they also know the legendary Super Saiyan is about to be born. And Trunks thinks these guys are a little misinformed about something. Goten agrees. He doesn't think they even know how to go Super Saiyan. They don't mince words and quickly reveal that, actually, both of them can become Super Saiyans no problem. However, Nas isn't fooled. This simply isn't possible because Super Saiyans are... The pair transforming. This is a Super Saiyan in their legend, right? But nope, that's not what a Super Saiyan is at all. A little confused. What does this guy mean? They're both pretty sure this is Super Saiyan. The visitor admits that their energies do seem a lot higher than before. But this fact alone means that they are not the legendary Super Saiyan. Maybe they haven't heard the legend after all. Once he explains to them the proper story, they will understand why he is correct. And to be fair, it is true they haven't really heard much about the Super Saiyan origin. It's told the reason they new Saiyans don't know about the untold story of the birth of the legendary Saiyans is because it was passed down only to the old Saiyans. The reason their current form isn't the legendary Super Saiyan is because, in order for said Saiyan to be born, there must be a certain something. A certain something? Specifically, the moon. Continuing, the term legendary means that he only appears every 1,000 years. Only then, the moon emits a special light that allows you to become a Super Saiyan as long as you're bathed in that light. Once that special light is gone, you'll revert back to your original form. That's how the legendary Super Saiyan was born several hundreds of years ago. For these reasons, they are not Super Saiyans. The Saiyans, a fighting race, evolve their appearance in response to their opponents and their environment. They call it adaptive evolution. Their evolution is different from their own, but they Saiyans evolve purely out of instinct. As long as they have a strong opponent, they can evolve as much as they want. Despite their differences, Nas thinks they can understand what he's talking about. And they are still evolving. Again, as long as they have strong enemies in a harsh environment, they can become infinitely stronger. With these visitors making their less than sinister intentions known, just how powerful are they? What is this legendary Super Saiyan they speak of? And what do they mean by adaptive evolution?